Right, let's dive into some EV tech today. We're headed over to Sweden, to a place called CubeSite. It's a technology incubator, and you can check it out at qbsite.com. We're going to be looking at a student's project there. It really gets at some interesting stuff about the future of EV charging.
Oh, yeah, this is a cool one. So CubeSite, they do a lot to encourage young engineers. And they've got this EV training rig called the Amiba Alpha. One student used it for a really interesting upgrade project.
Okay, hold on. A training rig. What is this Amiba Alpha thing?
It's like, well, think of it as a way to experiment with high voltage systems, but in a safe environment, like what you'd find in a real EV. It simulates a full traction voltage system, and it uses a 600 VDC battery. So yeah, pretty powerful stuff. But what's really interesting? It's not just used for EV training. They use it for training in the industrial and marine sectors too, so you can see how versatile this tech is becoming.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So how does this student project fit in? It sounds like the Amoeba Alpha is already pretty advanced, as is...
Yeah, but there was a challenge. The charger it wasn't compatible with the newest standards for charging. So this student, Mohammed Zahid Rashid, he decided to upgrade it to work with the ISO 11115 standard.
ISO 1111518. Okay, yeah, I think I've heard of that. But can you remind me why that's important for EV charging?
I think we've all been there. Trying to find the right charger for your EV, it's frustrating, right? Well, ISO 1111518 is all about making that easier. Like, imagine if any EV could work with any charging station, no matter where you are. That's the goal, to create a universal language, so to speak, for EVs and chargers to talk to each other.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that would be huge for EV drivers. So Mohammed is bringing this universal standard to this training rig at qbsite.com, where they're training all these new engineers. That's pretty forward thinking. But how did he even start to upgrade a charger? That seems really complex.
Yeah, well, his project report is on CubeSite's website, and it goes into all the details. But first and foremost, safety was key. With high voltage, you have to be super careful. So he put in things like lid-activated disconnect switches and emergency stops, just to prevent any accidents. He also used a servo motor to control the locking mechanism for the charger.
A servo motor. I know those are used in robotics and stuff, but
Yeah.
how do they work for an EV charger?
Think of it like the lock you have on your car's charging port. But instead of being totally mechanical, it's electronically controlled by the servo motor, which gives you a lot more precision. And it can work smoothly with the rest of the charging system.
Wow, that's clever.
Yeah.
So this upgrade, it's a mix of mechanical and electrical engineering. Did he have to do any programming too?
Oh yeah, definitely. He even designed a custom human-machine interface, or HMI, using LEDs, to give feedback to the user. Like, those little lights on your phone charger that blink and tell you it's charging? It's like that, but for the training rig. It shows the status of the charging process.
So it makes the whole system easier to use. Wait, so he programmed this with MicroPython? Really? That's impressive. I thought that was just for simpler stuff.
It can be used for simple things,
Yeah.
but it's getting used more and more for things like robotics and hardware control, which is perfect for a project like this. Like, MicroPython can directly control hardware, so the charger can react instantly to changes, like in the battery voltage.
That's really interesting. So CubeSite is giving students like Mohammed the chance to really get deep into this EV technology.
Exactly. They're not just learning the theory. They're getting hands-on experience with, like, cutting-edge tech and industry standards, which is super important if they want to have careers in the EV field, because it's changing so fast.
Okay, so this upgrade sounds super ambitious.
Yeah.
But did it actually work? Was Mohammed able to get it all running?
Well, the project report on qbsite.com says, yeah, the upgraded charger worked great. He could control it, monitor it, and the best part, it passed all the safety standards. So it wasn't just a theory. It was a real solution.
That's awesome. So he basically took this training rig and brought it right into the future of EV charging. That must have been so rewarding.
Definitely. And you know what? This is exactly the kind of thing CubeSite is all about. They want their students to get these practical skills. It's not just textbook stuff. They want them to be innovators out in the real world.
It's pretty amazing. A student project can have such an impact. It seems like places like CubeSite are really important for shaping the future of EV tech by supporting all this talent.
That's true. And it's not just about training. They do skills evaluation, too, to make sure graduates are ready for jobs, because this industry is growing so fast.
Oh, right. So it's a whole ecosystem for developing EV talent. training, evaluation, and using the latest tech like the Amiba Alpha.
Yeah, and by using the ISO 1104-1018 standard
Yeah.
and those advanced features like that locking mechanism with the servo motor, they're making sure the students are learning on the cutting edge.
This has been so interesting. It's like a glimpse into the future of EV charging, all from a student project at CubeSite. You can find out more at qbsite.com, by the way.
Yeah, it just goes to show innovation is happening everywhere. From student projects to big companies, the EV industry is really dynamic.
You know what strikes me? These projects, they show us how much potential there is in EV tech. It's not just about these big companies. It's about people with passion, people who want to make a real difference.
Yeah, and CubeSite. They're creating this space for those innovators, a place where they can learn and experiment and work with this cutting-edge technology, like that Amiba Alpha training rig.
It's like smoughing.
They're not just trying to keep up with the industry, they're trying to shape the future by giving those students the skills they'll need.
Exactly. This deep dive, it's given us so much to think about. And if you're as excited as we are about EVs, we have a question for you.
What other innovations would you like to see in the EV world? What challenges do you think we still need to address? Let us know.
The future of EV tech, it's being written right now, and it could include your ideas.
So, that wraps up our deep dive into EV tech at CubeSite. We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep those wheels turning and those minds sparking.